All right, we're gonna keep this thing rolling, man. Live stream, been ripping. Had Maudie, Jason and I went with the pocket, and a new face on media, but not a new face to me. A guy who I haven't seen in quite some time. We've been catching up now. More Koa Farmer, brother. I appreciate you hopping on.
Appreciate you, man.
This obviously is brought to you by Modelo. We are in the Modelo Cantina in the State Media House, 2025, getting ready for the Oregon game. College football is Modelo season. If you're listening to this right now, it's time for a reward. Reward yourself and your full-time fandom with an ice-cold Modelo as the official beer partner of Penn State football. 21 and up, please drink responsibly. But Koa, man, it's been a minute, bro. What you been up to, dude?
Man, living DC. Got married. Doing IT sales, supporting the federal government. Love what I do. You know me. I big relationship guy. So
Bro.
I just try to be myself. Cherish the people that I want to spend time with and live a rather simple life, bro. To be honest.
You stay out of the way, bro.
Yep.
You like to have a great time. You care about family.
Yep.
You care about friends.
Yep.
But you like to stay out of the way, and that's what I've always appreciated about you. You were your class, and I've said this to some of the other guys, but I want to dive into this a little bit with you because I think your perspective is going to be unique. But your class was like, you were my babies. Like, I cared about you guys a lot. And like coming into this whole thing when we kind of came into it, and then the event, eventually you guys being able to grow up and then go win a Big Ten championship and really kind of get the program back where it needed to be, right? Like, I kind of always took pride in like taking the role of making sure I passed on kind of like the stuff we went through, made sure you guys appreciated that, but then also made sure you guys understood like what the opportunity was. So
Yep.
like even going back then, dude, like I always appreciated your class, your group of guys, and you guys are still so tight, and that's like so cool for me to see.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I was always kind of like I was close to you guys in age, but I was still like the old head, because
I mean, you were the quarterback, but you were closer to our age, but you were also the quarterback at a young age.
Like I started as a true freshman.
Started as a true freshman, but you weren't old enough to really go to the bars and all that kind of stuff. You probably could get into them, but you were hanging out with us. You know what I mean? So I think that's why we got so close with you and things you taught us and how you gave the torch to us and Trey and Monty and Grant and those guys.
It's not even that, man. Like you guys, like I said, you guys worked. Like I thought that was like a really cool thing. Like you guys dealt with some of the back end of the Sandusky stuff, but like you really were never in it. And then you guys came in with like this like refreshing attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like a dude like Marcus out, like that dude, little Mark. Like
yeah,
you guys always had like this like different type of thing. And then the year I left, like I obviously got out and like talked minimally to anybody because that's also how I am. But just watching from afar, like you guys really grabbed the bull by the horns. And I think that's really unique, right? Because when you look at it, like I always look at college football teams when you start like a run and when things start going really, really well, it's usually like a mindset shift. And it's not a mindset shift from the coaching staff or the fan base or anything. It's a mindset shift from inside the locker room.
Very true.
And it's like you have to kind of take a step into that unknown, right? Like no one was expecting you guys to win the Big Ten championship. No one was expecting you guys to go compete for a playoff bid.
I think we started 2-2 that year.
Yeah. And then you guys were able to kind of rally internally and do that. And I think it's unique, and we're going to dive kind of into this matchup and this year's team, but I want to stay on this. But like I think uniquely, like with this year's team, there's a parallel to that, right? But different starting points, but kind of the same message where this team has gotten so close. And they, the playoff run last year, like they have all the talent, they have all the alignment, they have all these good things. But it's like there needs to be that inside the locker room or somebody or something that did it. So talk about like your experience with that in 2016. Like who were some guys that did it? Like what were some conversations? Like what were some common themes? Because I think that's really important. Something I think fans overlook when they watch this thing. Like they just think like you just roll these players out there and it just happens. Like there's a lot that goes into it.
I wish I knew. It's so crazy when you step back and you don't know some of the players. Like I wish I was in their locker room because I know for our locker room, like we were just so damn close with each other. Like some of my best friends on this planet is, Trace, Amani, Say, Grant, Tom, all those guys that I played with. And I think the truth was like we were just like when I was out there playing defense and I saw Grant next to me, I saw Trap next to me, I saw Marcus next to me, Jason in the middle. Like I was like, bro, I'm playing for the guy right next to me, and I'll be interested to know how close these guys are with each other. Because obviously, we have the best coaching staff, or we got good players. We get the same players all these other teams that are good in the country, right? But I think what separated us, and that's what I'm interested to know, is how close these guys are for each other. How much are they willing to put it on the line for each other? And I think what switched us that time when we lost to Pitt is I just remember Trace, Marcus, and all those guys like we just looked at each other and just made a decision like we got to get this done for each other more than anything. And I think that's what was the turning point in that locker room.
After that Pitt game, what were the conversations like?
I mean, we had to look at each other in the eye, and like that game was from a defensive standpoint. They did a lot of smoke and mirror and motioning and all that stuff. So, I'm not gonna. I mean, I think the offense scored like 48 points.
Yeah,
like
you guys lit it up.
Yeah,
I remember watching that
but
game.
like defense led up 48 points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think we just had to take a hard look at the guys that maybe missed a lot of mistakes, had a lot of hard mistakes to make, and it was just a conversation where, like, guys, like, if we want to go where we want to go, because you're talking about how this team is so close and how we were so close, and it made a point where, like, are we close? Are we going to give up at a certain point? But I think, again, it just came down to the dudes, how we loved each other so much, and we were so close, and we wanted it so bad for each other that we just had to step the fuck up, to be honest.
Yeah, like it was
time to grow up. Because we were all young too, Hack. Like,
correct, yeah.
And like I think some of the guys we've seen on, they were junior scenes or they're senior heavy team, but we were sophomores, redshirt freshman type teams, right? So I think it was just like we had to step the fuck up. We had to man up, all of us.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you say it so succinctly, but like that's so hard.
It is hard.
Like it's so hard. Like it's like you just have to go and do it. I think in today's day and age now, with like all the noise and NIL and like how much do these guys really hang out? Like I know for sure these guys aren't doing what we were doing. Like I was taking you guys into frat houses.
No, there's no way.
Like
there's no
fools.
Way. There's no way.
And then now like these guys are like in freaking private sections and like roped off, and obviously like it also was different times, like from a technology standpoint. Like I think we were kind of on that forefront of like when people actually started like extorting people with phones and stuff. Like like we knew that there were videos out there of us acting wild, but like no one was like trying to do it in a malicious like extorting fashion.
Honestly, bro, like what do you think about the NIL stuff?
I think it's interesting, bro. Like I've always been a proponent of the value that student athletes bring to the ecosystem of college sports was never equatable to like even the scholarship. Like if you just dive into the numbers of it, like it's like not even close. And I always thought that they should have gotten paid in some form or fashion for the value proposition that they brought to the table. But the manner in which it was rolled out from the beginning, I think was kind of really not well thought out, and it allowed for a lot of things. Like you gave them an inch and they took a foot,
right? And
they took another foot,
right?
And it was like now a lot of it's kind of like backpedaling, like trying to reel it back in to where it actually makes sense. And unfortunately, the people that affects the most is the fans and the alumni bases, and they're trying to figure out like, well, what does this actually mean? Like, how do we actually compete? And it's just it's gotten to this point. I hope they get it right with these kind of like second and third editions of like what the rules and regulations actually look like, and fourth and fifth editions, frankly. But I think it's good. Like I think it's a step forward. But I think that there's still things that you can do to ensure that guys get the experience that we got, in the sense of like,
that's the thing. Are they? I don't know if they're getting that. Like, think about this.
I think it's tough, bro.
I agree. Like, I feel like, especially a guy like yourself, you're the quarterback of Penn State. Like, you would have made some chicken when you were here.
But you would have got paid too, bro.
100%.
I mean, it's 100%. You still, even when you look at the fractions of like what you did, you're a percent of a percent. And then the higher you go, you just become a lesser percent of a percent.
I mean, we had stipends when we were in school. Like, I'm not saying we were broke students, but like we didn't, it was
We weren't
cool.
hooping.
It was cool to like go to a frat or go to a bar and and hang out rather than like I don't know if those same 10 guys that I talked to in my group chat would be there during this age of football.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have been there. I don't know if you would have been there. I don't know if Trap would have been there or Grant, you just don't know. And that's why I'm interested back to the question about how close are these kids to each other, because I mean, you can be driving a freaking Charger to school and I'm driving, my Ford Explorer. Like, how does that unconsciously affect the relationship? I don't know.
Well, it becomes a lot like a pro locker room.
It becomes like a pro locker room,
which are very unique.
Which is, you know what I mean?
So how much does it become about those intangible? How much of those intangible aspects of like the locker room and building young men does it actually reflect when the lights come on? I think that's what you kind of get.
All I'm saying, I'm glad. I'm not gonna say I'm glad, but I was cool. I had a great college experience.
Correct.
How it was.
Yeah.
Wouldn't change it for the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And this place is special.
100%.
Makes it even better.
Yeah.
That's so dope, dude. But with that being said, got a little segment for you by Modelo.
Mm-hmm. Modelo.
The fighter versus the fan. Talking about your college experience. What were some of the toughest away stadiums you played in, and what made them that way?
Number one was definitely Iowa. Have you played at Iowa?
I did not play at Iowa. It's one of the few Big Ten stadiums I never played at.
It was probably like 65. I don't know, maybe 65,000 fans there. But when I mean the bench is right here and the stands is right here, and I want to say like we couldn't put our helmets behind us because they would take it or something like that. I think they had a pink locker room too. But that stadium, that was definitely the most hostile environment I ever played in. It was, I just remember like third down the ground was shaking. It was, and I would hate to be an away opponent coming to a whiteout, but like that was probably the most craziest environment I ever played in. And luckily we won that game on literally the last play of the game.
Juwan.
Literally.
Juwan and Niner.
I don't know. Did Trey score that?
I couldn't tell if he was throwing it to Deshaun.
I don't know who he's throwing it to.
I didn't know if he was throwing it to 5 or 84, dude.
It worked out, though.
Hammy, yeah, it did work out. I guess Jomo drew it up like that. Just
Did
put
he?
2 guys there, and let them figure it out.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
No, I asked Trace about that. I think he said someone.
He threw off his back leg.
Yeah, I think he said someone screwed up. Like it was like an option route. You could take the middle or whatever. And someone was supposed to run a corner. But anyway, it did work out.
It did work out.
That was dope. I remember watching that. That was so cool.
I remember after there's a clip. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Me and Trace, I was freaking punching him in his chest after the game, like 3 good jabs. It was dope. It was dope. I'll send it to you.
You were the ultimate hype man.
Yeah, because me and Trace were roommates, so we're tight.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
Niners the best, bro. He's one of the best. I'm happy for him. Coaching.
Yeah.
Back here.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. Let's dive into these boys. Let's just talk about this matchup, right? Like I think we covered this with Mike. We covered this with Jay just before you. Like, what's your expectations here, man? Like, this team had a ton of national championship or bust type of vibes. The first 3 games haven't really played anybody. Had a bye week, so you had to sit idle. So you end up slipping a spot to a Miami team that has a couple of good wins this year already. Mm-hmm. You still control your own destiny, but like heading into this game, I said this, I felt like this team has played really tight against lesser opponents and we've done a lot, but we haven't really mastered and honed in on like who we are. Mm-hmm. From your perspective, I'm curious, like what are you seeing on the offensive and defensive side of the ball from this team, or just like broad stroke, like talent accumulation that gets you excited? And what are some things you're seeing that kind of give you some trepidation?
Starting on defense, I think defense is going to be good. I mean, one thing about how we recruit is we recruit a lot of fast guys. And I think how Coach knows is teaching these guys running to the football itself is honestly a skill set in the defense. So I think guys are so fast, like guys can take the shot and it's going to get cleaned up. So from a defensive standpoint, I think we can keep up with these guys. I don't doubt the ability of how these guys are going to tackle well and run to the ball, get sacks, creating, disruptive plays, TFLs, stuff like that. I think it's going to come down to our offense. I think Drew needs to throw the ball down the field. I think if we get a couple explosive plays on offense, I think the confidence of the offense will just change, like over a series. I think if Drew can throw a deep ball, if the running backs can get a couple explosive runs, you remember being in those rooms, like explosive plays and limiting explosive plays is huge.
Yeah,
and the teams that have the more explosive plays are going to win the game, but also limit the explosive plays. So I just think we need electrifying stuff to happen for us to win this game. I think I'm afraid like the offense or, the Oregon scores real quick. Are we going to be able to match how quick they move down the field?
Can we get into a track meet?
Yeah. And I think that starts with, our quarterback. And he has all the talent in the world. I just think he just needs to do it. Yeah. Just do it.
Yeah.
Throw the ball deep.
It's interesting. You like when you watch us, like we have been very possession oriented, and we haven't really finished drives because we've been on our 13th and 14th play of a drive. And you bring up a really good point. At least for me, offensively, like when you're going through games and you're running, 65 to 80 plays a game, but then every single one of your drives is like 10 to 15 plays.
It's a lot.
It's grueling mentally. Like that,
and they don't
that
score.
40-yard pop is like, whoa, like it's like, oh, like in one play, I made up 5 plays. You know what I mean? Like in my brain. So then it's like, okay, you kind of have this shift and like a little break mentally, and it kind of gives you also like a little bit of a boost of energy to like get in
momentum
and keep going. Yeah,
especially at home.
Yeah, and that's another good point. I mean, the momentum here, this game, this whiteout atmosphere, like you played in one of the most electric whiteouts ever. I played in one that's up there as well in the Michigan game. Like it's different, bro. Like there's something about it. And to your point, if you can capitalize on some momentum swings, I've heard I think it's going to be a close football game. Like one score coming down to 3 to 4 plays within the game. I've seen some people talk about it potentially going very heavily one way or the other, depending on that momentum thing, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, I personally think it's going to be it's going to be close going into the third, fourth quarter, and we may get a play. You may get a deep ball. We may get a sack, strip fumble or something where it ends up being like over a 10-point game going into to close the game. I personally think that. I just think like defense is going to play well, and if this is a game where Coach Franklin and everyone puts all the puzzles together and shows the world where what Penn State is about, this is the game to do, and I think they got to do it.
You think they got?
I think they got a script.
You think they got a shove?
I think so.
Like all in.
I'm all in.
Yeah,
I'm personally all in. I mean, if you're, I mean, the line's 3.5, so that's more than 3. That's more than the field goal.
Yeah.
So you're saying maybe a touchdown. And again, man, they may late score in the game or block field goal, deep ball to A-Rob. I don't know.
You're a big Vegas guy. All right, I got another segment brought to you by Modelo here. So the every fan ritual. All right. So now that you're done, what's your pregame ritual look like?
My pregame ritual on a Saturday.
I already know what it is because I got a little taste of it last Saturday during the bye week, sitting in the car with Grant on the way up here. So don't even pretend like you're going to get around this.
I wake up. It's usually a FaceTime call about 8 to 10 dudes talking about what we're going to bet on today. But honestly, it's so crazy because like we actually dive deep into like what we think of what's going to actually happen, like offensively, defensively, who are the players, what's the defensive team, like their run defense, how's their run defense, how's their offense doing, like efficiency in the red zone, or just different little data things that we look at. And usually that's probably about an hour long call, then we're talking about it. And I probably get one of these, you know what I'm saying, and watch ESPN, watch College Game Day, try to get the mojo going. You know what I mean? Me and my wife sitting next to me, and maybe Mark's next to me, Trap's next to me because we all live in the same area. Yeah, something like that, man. But it's usually a FaceTime starting real early in the morning on a Saturday.
The Knights of the Degenerate table. You guys got a little guild going on there.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's again, it's ways that we talk to each other. You know,
No doubt.
That's how we talk. You know what I mean?
And to put a bow on that, that's what I love about you guys. I'm happy that we've gotten back to chat, and I appreciate you popping by here.
Yeah, man.
Giving the fans a little bit.
Yeah, you're my guy.
You're my guy too, bro.
We got to go fishing.
Yeah, I know.
And hunting.
I know that as well. It's getting to be about that time. It's about that time. So, with that being said, wrapping up Koa Farmer here.
Cheers.
At the State Media House, brought to you by Modelo. Some things in life are just made for each other. Peanut butter and jelly, macaroni and cheese, Penn State football, and an ice cold Modelo.
Nice.
The official beer partner of Penn State Athletics. Because football wouldn't be the same without you fans. 21 plus, please drink responsibly. Thank you, Modelo. Thank you, Koa. Cannot wait for that ball to be kicked off at 7:30 tomorrow.
Let's do it.